Call the witness stand the ghost of Christmas present.
The ghost of Christmas present.
Not living up to his name, is he?
Mr. Connolly, where is he?
I tried to tell you, he said he doesn't have time for this trial.
Doesn't have time?
He says his life upon this globe is very brief and he has other business to attend to.
Tell him his business is within these four walls and nowhere else.
I did, but he refuses to come in.
What is he doing that is so important?
He's sprinkling powder into people's food.
What?
When they're not looking.
There's something peculiar in that powder.
Mr. Connolly, go outside and force him into this courtroom.
I don't want to mess with him. I've never seen the likes of him before.
Mr. Connolly?
He says he has more than 1,800 brothers.
Mr. Connolly!
I don't like them odds.
Mr. Connolly, he is sprinkling an unknown substance into people's food.
And he's harboring 2 children under his roof.
His what?
2 children that live under his roof.
Notify Scotland Yard.
The dirty, dressed in rags. They haven't bathed in God knows how long.
Your Honor, they're his children.
He told me they're mankind.
He takes care of them. Forcing them to live under his roof is not taking care of them. Mr. Connolly, now.
Beware them both, but most of all beware the boy. He's the one with doom written on his brow.
Your Honor, he really is good. That will be for the court to decide. Mr. Rothschild.
I would like to call back to the witness stand Mr. Robert Cratchit.
Mr. Robert Cratchit.
Paul, 10 years ago when you started working at Scrooge and Marley's, what was your salary?
15 shillings a week.
15 shillings a week. You were able to live off that?
We make do.
By we, who do you mean?
My family.
And how big was your family at that time?
It was my wife, myself, and 2 children.
A family of 4 and 15 shillings.
Yes, sir.
On the night in question, how big was your family?
It was my wife, myself, and 6 children.
You've been busy. And at that time, how much were you making at Scrooge and Marley's?
15 shillings a week.
You worked at Scrooge and Marley's for 10 years and never once received a raise?
No, sir.
A Christmas bonus?
No, sir.
After Mr. Marley died, did Mr. Scrooge approach you about becoming a partner?
I asked him about that once, but he said it would cost too much to change the sign.
The sign?
Scrooge and Marley's.
Oh, that's right. He never had Marley's name painted up, did he?
No, sir. It still stays Scrooge and Marley's.
Doesn't that confuse people?
Some people new to the business call him Mr. Scrooge, others Mr. Marley. He answers to both.
So, you're supporting a wife and 6 children on 15 shillings a week with no hope for a raise or becoming a partner?
Yes, sir.
How were you able to do that?
It wasn't easy.
That's impossible.
Objection. Overruled.
But he had
Overruled. Have you found him?
Yes.
Good. But, you may continue, Mr. Rothschild.
Bob, I'd like to speak to you about your youngest child.
Tim.
Yes, you have a nickname for him, don't you?
Tiny Tim.
I'm assuming because he's tiny.
Sharp as a tennis ball lacquer.
Mr. Scrooge.
He's small for his age, yes.
Why?
He was born prematurely and remained ill.
Now, how ill was he on the night in question?
Quite ill.
Was he dying?
Yes.
Did he know it?
I think so.
Did it scare him?
He never liked to talk about it much, but he did say to me once that he hoped the people in church saw him because he was crippled, and it might be pleasant to them to see who made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Tim was crippled.
He'd grown so weak he was forced to use a crutch to walk.
Did you seek medical help?
We couldn't afford it.
So you chose to
Wait and pray.
wait and pray. Your Honor, I would like to submit an evidence exhibit B. Tiny Tim's crutch. Your Honor, if Tiny Tim's life continued on the path it was on the night in question, this is all that would remain of him. The only thing sadder than a little boy forced to use a crutch is a crutch without an owner. It isn't pretty, but this is what a world without pity can do. Bob, on your first day back to work after the night in question, did you notice a change in Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, sir. He was a completely new person. Happy, kind.
Oh, and how did this kindness manifest itself?
We burned more coal that day than we had all year. He gave me a substantial raise and even offered to help Tiny Tim.
Oh, helped him how?
Pay for all of his treatments. Give him the best care. For a while, he was a second father to Tim.
And how is Tim today?
As good as gold and better. He did not die and no longer needs to use a crutch.
Would you say that change in Mr. Scrooge saved Tim's life?
Yes, I would.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Scrooge, your witness.
Mr. Cratchit, have you ever been to debtor's prison?
No, sir.
Have you ever been arrested for not paying a bill?
No, sir.
Have you ever been forced to sleep on the street?
No, sir.
Have you ever not been able to put food on your table?
No, sir.
And what do you do during the day, Mr. Cratchit?
During the day, I work for you.
And at night?
I spend my nights at home with my family.
According to Miss Wainwright, who has extensive experience with the poor, thousands are in want of common necessaries, and hundreds of thousands are in want of common comforts. Before the night in question, did you consider yourself to be one of those thousands?
No, sir, but
I didn't either. You had a job, a house. You'd never been to debtor's prison, and you'd been able to put food on your table.
Yes, sir, but I had 6 children.
Perhaps you should have thought of that before you had them. No more questions.
You may step down, Mr. Cratchit. Your witness, Mr. Rothschild.
I'd like to call to the witness stand the ghost of Christmas present.
The ghost of Christmas present.
He got away.
Got away?
How?
I don't know. 1 minute he was yelling at people to touch his robe, and the next he was gone. Well, where did he go? He just vanished into the thin air. Mr. Connolly, ghosts just don't vanish in the thin air unless... Well, that's Scotland Yard's problem now. Mr. Rothschild.
I would like to call to the witness stand the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
The ghost of Christmas yet to come.
I'll go find him.
I'll wait.
I'd like to call the...
Fine.
I'd like to call to the witness stand Mrs. Harriet Dilber.
Mrs. Harriet Dilber.
Would you please state for the court your full name?
Harriet Penelope Dilber.
And where were you on the night in question?
Around.
Specifically.
Because I'm tired.
Did you enter my bedroom that night?
Don't flatter yourself.
Mrs. Dilber, on the night in question, did you or did you not enter my room with the intent of pilfering my goods?
What kind of lie do you think I am?
The pilfering kind.
You know I haven't built anything in years. With pilfering things, but I'm sad to say.
Oh, Joe thinks differently.
Oh, Joe's got a big mouth, he does.
So you admit to doing a little pilfering that night.
Maybe just a quickie pilfer.
And what exactly did you pilfer?
That's getting kind of personal now, ain't it? I mean, it's not very ladylike to talk about pilfering in public, don't you think?
Mrs. Dilber, do you know what the word pilfer means?
Well, if you don't know what it means by now, I ain't going to tell you. What's it mean again?
To steal.
Go! Really? You mean, in all these years, I thought it'd been something else.
So let me ask you again. On the night in question,
Oh, yeah, I entered the place that I pilfered everything I could get my hands on.
exactly what did you pilfer?
I can't quite remember. My memory ain't what it used to be.
Well, let me see if I can help you. In old Joe's deposition, he said, she came into me shop that night singing Old Scrap and finally died. Undid a bundle and out came his gloves, leather boots, blankets, bed curtains, rings and all. And a shirt, fine cotton it was.
They was gonna ruin a perfectly good shirt.
Ruin?
They was gonna bury it in it.
You took that shirt off my body?
Of course, it was a fine cotton shirt. I couldn't see it going to waste. So I took it off the dress chin calico. That's good enough for your cold bones.
No more questions.
Your witness, Mr. Rothschild.
Mrs. Dilber, may I call you?
Oh, call me anything you like, love.
Thank you, Harriet.
Stop calling me y'all.
Harriet.
Such a gentleman.
Harriet, where do you live?
You're a fast one, you are.
Where do you sleep?
What would you like to know?
Yes, I would.
You're pissing me hot, ain't you?
Harriet, do you know Sarah Wainwright?
Maybe.
How long have you known her?
A few years.
How did you two meet?
At a party.
Was it snowing that night? Was that you standing in the street? How's your family?
The cold took him
When?
a few days after the party.
Where do you live now?
Wherever.
How often do you see Sarah Wainwright?
Every Christmas, and I looks forward to it every year. She's like family, she is. Only family I like.
Why did you steal Mr. Scrooge's belongings?
You know a better way.
Yes, it's called a job.
Are you gonna hire me?
No more questions, Your Honor.
You may step down.
Hey, that's my bag.
So, who wants to call a witness now?
Your Honor, I would like to call to the witness stand the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
The ghost of Christmas yet to come.
As the ghost of Christmas yet to come does not possess a normal voice box, we've engaged a court-appointed translator who speaks ghost. Thank you for being here. Would you please state your full name for the court?
The ghost of Christmas yet to come.
The ghost of Christmas yet to come. May I call you Future?
Please.
Future. On the night in question, did you visit Mr. Scrooge?
Yes.
What was the purpose of your visit?
Redemption.
He tried to kill me.
Sit down, Mr. Scrooge.
Ask him, go ahead, ask him.
Mr. Scrooge.
Did you try to Mr. Scrooge?
No.
Liar!
Could he not shout like that? It hurts my ears.
Murderer!
Why is he doing this to me?
Because you tried to kill me!
I've never killed anyone in my life.
He's lying.
I'd like to kill him right now, though.
You're not the only one. Sit down, Mr. Scrooge.
And Mr. Scrooge says you tried to kill him.
Mr. Scrooge can kiss my spectral cookies.
Why would Mr. Scrooge say a thing like that?
Because he's a putz.
Objection!
Overruled.
But he can't say it.
Mr. Scrooge, the witness is entitled to his opinion.
Oh, that wasn't his opinion, it was mine. Sorry.
Future, while Mr. Scrooge was with you that night, was he ever in danger of dying?
The only one in danger of dying that night was me. I nearly froze my coat off that night. Look at this. I've seen toilet paper thicker than this. This wouldn't keep a pig on a spit warm. You'd think they could bring with something with a little more insulation, but no. Christmas present has enough fat on him to keep a tribe of Eskimos warm for a lifetime. And they give him a wool suit.
As best as you can remember, what happened on the night in question?
I'm freezing now, as a matter of fact. Could someone put some more coal on, please?
Mr. Connolly, it's warm enough in here.
Just for
Mr. Rachelle, you may proceed.
Your Honor, my client.
It's warm enough in here.
Not too tight.
Did you kidnap Mr. Scrooge?
No.
How did you force him to go with you?
I didn't force him. He went on his own.
And where did you take him?
To see his future.
Mr. Scrooge's future, he didn't make a change in his life, is that correct?
Yes.
And what did Mr. Scrooge's future look like?
Cold, overcast, gloomy. Hello, welcome to England. The sun never sets my eye, the sun never rises. I hate England. It's cold and it's damp.
Besides the weather, what was his future like?
It was pretty bad.
How bad?
Well, he was dead to begin with.
How far into the future did you take him?
About 4 days.
That's hardly the future.
Well, he didn't have much of a future left.
Are you saying that on the night in question, if Mr. Scrooge did not make a change in his life, he only had 4 days to live?
Give or take a few hours.
And did your visit have any effect on him?
He cried like a baby and promised to keep Christmas in his heart all the year.
He did.
Blubbered and bawled his head off.
Mr. Scrooge promised to keep the spirit of Christmas all the year.
A promise made on his knees.
I see. Thank you. No more questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Scrooge, your witness.
Earlier, Mr. Marley expressed frustration with trying to schedule an appointment to wait for 7 years. That's quite a workload. When do you get a day off?
Well, we're off from Christmas Day until Christmas Eve.
You only work 1 day of the year.
actually, but it's a busy night. No rest.
One night out of the entire year? No wonder there's a 7-year wait. Have you ever considered working a few more hours?
What are the ghosts of Christmas? We only come once a year.
On the night in question, you took me to my room, did you not?
Yes.
And why did you take me there?
Is it hot in here?
Please answer the question.
I'm burning up. Could someone open a window?
Answer the question.
I'm thirsty too. I'm hot and thirsty. Great, I've got cholera.
You don't want to admit that you tried to kill me.
Again with the killing. What is it with you?
You took me to my room and tried to induce me into having a heart attack by showing me this, Exhibit C. My dead body. Did you or did you not show me this on the night in question?
I did, but it wasn't.
Did you continually point at it to get me to pull back the sheet?
Yes, but it wasn't.
Forcing me to see my own dead body, thereby frightening me into having a heart attack.
No!
You're lying!
My client is not lying.
Then why show me this? Why show me this if I was past all hope? I'll tell you why. Because this spirit of Christmas is a cold-hearted murderer! Murderer! Liar!
I didn't. It wasn't me.
There was no one else in the room that night. Oh, I understand you. You're trying to finish now what you didn't finish a year ago.
Look there.
No, but I won't do it. I won't do it.
Mr. Scrooge, pull back the sheet.
What do you say?
I'm saying pull back the sheet.
But I can't.
Pull it back. I haven't the power. You may not, but I do. Mr. Connolly.
I think I'd rather not.
Now.
No.
Jacob! Mr. Marley! What is the meaning of this?
Where is my dead body?
Mr. Marley!
Does anyone have any smelling salts?
Never mind that. Where is Mr. Scrooge's dead body?
It was under the sheet.
Did you see it under the sheet?
No. I just thought that it would be under...
What? What do I pay you for, Mr. Connolly?
Well, I sweep the floor.
Mr. Marley!
Wait, that was a rhetorical question, wasn't it?
Mr. Marley, what is the meaning of this? Arrest him now.
Your Honor, my client.
Oh, your client has stolen evidence.
Client may have nothing to do with it, sir. There must be a logical explanation.
Well, I'd like to hear it.
Of course, Your Honor. Ooh. Jacob, where is Mr. Scrooge's dead body? You child, oh God, you're useless. Oh, Christmas past. Oh, past good. You haven't seen Mr. Scrooge's dead body lying anywhere about, have you? Your Honor, I'd like to request a brief recess.
Not until your clients have told us what they did with Mr. Scrooge's dead body.
They may have had nothing to do with its disappearance.
Mr. Marley was laying under the sheet where Mr. Scrooge's dead body should have been.
Yes, but he's testified eating no sleep and no rest. Maybe he needed a quick cat nap. If your clients don't tell us what happened in this instant, I'm going to throw every single one of them in jail. Now, for the last time, where is Mr. Scrooge's dead body?
There is no dead body.
What?
There never was a dead body.
But I saw my dead body.
That wasn't your dead body.
That wasn't my dead body under the sheet?
No.
Well, that wasn't my dead body, then who or what was under the sheet that night? Jacob!
Bound devil iron!
Don't you touch him!
You treasonous worm! You spineless, lily-livered, belly-aching cur!
Order! What is the meaning of that?
He forced us to do it.
I didn't-
Liar! Forced!
Forced you to do what?
He forced us to break the rules.
Rules? What rules?
When we show someone their future, we're not allowed to use a dead body.
You're not allowed to use a dead body?
No. Tombstones, yes. Dead bodies, no. But Mr. Miley didn't think that a tombstone was enough to scare Mr. Scrooge into changing his ways, so he forced us to use a dead body.
I didn't.
Forced!
That was you in my bed. Did you fabricate anything else that night?
Technically, your entire future.
That wasn't my future.
It was an approximation.
You approximated my future?
We approximate everyone's future.
What?
We speculate. That's where the word spectre comes from.
So, on the night in question, you intentionally deceived and frightened me into changing my ways with a fabricated future and a counterfeit corpse.
It was for your own good!
Mr. Marley, you and the spirits of Christmas are nothing but smooth-talking, double-dealing, self-righteous charlatans who terrorize people in the name of redemption!
Mr. Scrooge, sit down.
Your Honor.
You too, Mr. Rothschild.
But, Your Honor.
Not another word.
Oh, throw them all!
Not another word. Now sit down, all of you. Not you.
Sorry.
In all my years, I have never witnessed a more reprehensible assembly than I have today. You have collectively made a mockery of my courtroom with your abhorrent and impertinent behavior. If I could work my will, every last one of you would be boiled in your own pudding and buried for the sake of holly through your heart.
Surely you don't mean that.
And you'd be the first. There will be no closing arguments. I have heard more than enough to pass judgment. Although Mr. Scrooge failed to present overwhelming evidence that anyone, living or deceased, attempted to kidnap or murder him, he did provide, in a rather uncustomary way, evidence of trespassing, breaking and entering, stalking, pain and suffering, and the intentional infliction of emotional distress. Furthermore, I have found overwhelming evidence, including his own admission that Mr. Marley carefully plotted, contrived, and conspired the events of the night in question. And without his contrivance, none of these events would have occurred. Therefore, I find Mr. Marley and the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future guilty of said charges, and condemn them to a fine of £1,000 apiece and a termination of all ghostly duties.
I've won?
Yes.
I've won! I've won! I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I was right as a feather. I was happy as an angel. That is a schoolboy. I was giddy as a goose.
Take your giddiness elsewhere. This court is...
Your Honor! Too many
effective immediately.
You can't terminate my client from this spiritual obligation.
I just did, didn't I?
But they'll cease to exist. It's a death sentence.
It's not much of a change for them, will it?
Your Honor, please. Reconsider community time. The rate twice the fine, triple the fine, anything, but not termination.
That's enough, Mr. Rothschild. This court is...
But Mr. Scrooge made a promise, a verbal agreement.
Yes, Mr. Rothschild. I made a promise made on my knees to honor the spirit of Christmas and keep that spirit alive in my heart the whole year long.
And you have broken that verbal agreement.
On the contrary, I have not shut out the lessons the Spirit's taught me. The spirit of all three have thrived inside me.
I beg to differ.
Oh, Bob Cratchit is the highest paid clerk in all of London, I dare say. And young Tiny Tim, thanks to me, will live to be old, enormous Tim. I've given money to the poor, I've patted children on the head, and I have been irresistibly pleasant.
Muzzle top. The lessons of the spirits of Christmas work.
But why should I keep the spirit of Christmas all year, or at all for that matter, when those who force me to doing so fail to do so themselves?
They don't fail to keep it.
By their own admission, the spirits of Christmas only appear once a year.
Yes, because Christmas comes once a year.
Poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December.
If you think charity, mercy, benevolence is picking your pocket,
You forget, Mr. Rothschild, that you lost this trial.
I beg you, Mr. Scrooge, a world of the spirits of Christmas is...
It's January through November. What's one more month?
Your Honor.
It's not my business. This court is...
Wait!
What?
I'll tell you what I'll do, Mr. Rothschild. I'll make you an offer. I'll drop all charges if your client agrees to work more than 1 day a year.
Are you serious?
Oh, quite serious.
Thank you, Mr. Scrooge. Thank you. My clients will be more than willing to double their workload.
No. 2 days won't do.
How many days will do?
Oh, I don't know. Shall we say every day?
Every day?
Yes.
But you're demanding of my clients...
I'm demanding of your clients exactly what they demanded of me.
I'll need several days to discuss this with my clients.
They're right here.
The Christmas present is not present.
That's my offer, Mr. Rothschild. Every day, all day, your clients cease to exist.
It's too late. I've made my decision. This court is...
Mr. Scrooge, it's a bargain.
They accept my terms.
So they do.
The spirits of Christmas will thrive every day.
They will.
Effective immediately.
Effective immediately, and all charges are dropped.
All charges are dropped.
Thank you.
But I keep all the money they owe me.
But you said all charges.
All charges, yes, but not the money.
Mr. Scrooge, this is not...
So I can use it to start a fund for the poor.
What?
Miss Wainwright is my first choice to administer it. And I believe that Mrs. Harriet Dilber will make a wonderful overpaid clerk. Don't you agree?
Are you feeling well, Mr. Scrooge?
Oh, quite well, I assure you. You see, your clients weren't the only ones who had to go to extraordinary measures.
What?
Extraordinary measures! Oh, you should have seen your faces. You actually believed that I was the man I was before. Well, not the man I was before, but the man I was before. But you see, you had to believe that I was the man I was before, or nothing wonderful could have come of this trial. But I'm not the man I was. Well, I'm not the man I was before. Oh, Merry Christmas! The merriest Christmas we've had in many and many a year!
You mean this whole trial?
Extraordinary measures.
Mr. Scrooge, I didn't know what to say.
Don't say anything then.
You really are as good a friend, as good a man, as this good old world has ever known.
A promise is a promise. Right, Jacob? And Mr. Rothschild, may I call you Solomon?
I'm Your Honor.
Solomon, may it truly be said of us that we knew how to keep the spirit of caring and generosity in our hearts all the year long.
God bless us, everyone.
An intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. And now, I'd like to invite you all to a wonderful party at my house, with wonderful games and wonderful happiness.
always a good man of business, Ebenezer.
Oh, mankind is my business, Jacob. You taught me that. Sometimes it just needs a good swift kick in the pants. Don't you agree, Your Honor?
You want the whole day tomorrow, I suppose? It's convenient. No, it's not convenient. Well, we have business to attend to. The day after next, we begin Twist versus Bumble. But I suppose you'll have the whole day. Be here all the earlier the next.
Oh, thank you, sir. And Merry Christmas.
Bah! Who's there?
Stanfield.
We're closed.
Stanfield.